Special Planning Commission meeting for Tuesday, June 7th. Roll call, please.
Mayor Safarian,
Here.
Mr. Olive, Mr. Frieslar,
Here.
Mr. Orbitz,
Here.
Chairman Wachowski.
We are a board of 5. There are only 3 of us present today, which would mean that you would have to, for a motion to pass, you'd have to have all 3 votes as a yes. If you wish to postpone until the regular meeting in 2 weeks,
The 19th.
19th. Then that is an option. Okay.
No, it's not the 19th. It's the 20-something.
Yeah.
But it's.
But the
2
point
weeks.
is today, the point is today, we are a board of 5. You would have to have all 3 to pass. Okay. Could I have a motion for approval of the meeting minutes from last meeting?
So moved.
I'll second.
Mayor Safarian,
Yes.
Mr. Orbitz,
Yes.
Mr. Frieslar,
Yes.
First thing on the agenda is preliminary plat approval for the Oregon Town Center, Plat 1. Do we have a representative from the city here?
We do. We
Well,
got 2 of us.
well,
3
that's
of
right.
us.
I'll just explain the process. We were here earlier for the zoning on this.
Correct.
It was changed to a C3. The current maps that you received in your packets do not reflect that. We're working on changing that. So with that being said, we're here for the preliminary plat approval. That only goes to the Plan Commission. After we get the approval here, we'll have the individual city departments sign off on it so we can get it recorded, so we can issue the permits on those particular projects. This, when we record it, it creates the lots down at the county, and that way we'll be able to transfer the lots to, this lot for the apartments that we have the plans in. And I believe we have the site plan pretty close to approval. Right. If you have any questions about it, Rodney's here to answer any specific questions you might have.
I did notice that there's quite a few variances for setbacks. Is that consistent with today's standards as far as in construction in this type of scenario?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to address it. Actually, it's new territory for us. When we were going into making, we knew that there was desirability in the city to have these smaller lot housing developments. And so this is our one of our first. So we were even thinking of adjusting our zoning to reflect this. So we would offer that to builders or developers for the future. So it is something that, like Mr. Gilmore said, we made some changes along the way because we were developing this plan along the way. I think that kind of sums it up, because we were going to different builders and trying to find out what they thought would sell in this style location. So it is somewhat new territory, but we knew it would be from the onset. We said, well, tell us what it is we need to do, and we'll work through it. This is the work through project.
And this is preliminary, and this is mainly for the individual homes, or is this for?
Both.
This is for the apartment. It creates that lot. The apartments that are going in there, which is one large lot. And then
Okay.
this creates the single family lots. And I think the mayor is correct. I think the movement is to a higher density type of housing.
Right.
And I think we would like to give a zoning designation that would allow higher density. So-
I think we saw the same thing in the development off of Pickle Road with the single family.
Similar,
He was,
but
yeah.
not to this density. And closer to this would have been the one right up here on Star Extension, at the Slaughter property,
Oh,
right here, a villa type thing.
Yeah.
Because we knew that there was a new desire of type of single family dwellings of
And that's why I asked, is this where the builders are going? The types of zoning that they're leaning?
Correct,
Another
they're leaning
option.
towards it.
Yeah.
Another
They're more
option.
of a villa style, which we may call a smaller housing.
Mhm.
There's a demand for that, as we said. And actually, I believe, Rodney, you can verify this, but at the zoning change, we presented this layout, correct?
Yes, it's the exact same that was presented there.
Okay,
And the variances that are requested are the exact same as what was approved for Eden
Okay.
Park Villas.
I was
that's
just going
under
over them and
construction.
just, you know,
Yeah,
kind of figured it was consistent with what we're seeing
correct.
with other developers in the
Yeah.
area.
In the market.
Plus the market kind of wants, smaller lots, not as big,
Sure.
big areas. And we were looking for a little bit more density.
Yeah, well,
So before we create a new residential zoning, we got
District.
R1, R2, we might come up with a R something else that
Okay.
addresses this.
sure.
But this is our learning curve so that when we do put it together, we'll have the knowledge so otherwise we're going to have every development coming in here several times to get variances and a whole variety.
Well, it's a
of
step in the right
changes.
direction. And like I said,
Yeah.
it gives the builder some options to look at, get a little bit higher density. Some people are looking for that and obviously,
The surrounding communities are doing
Some-
the same thing.
yeah.
And the variances are only for the R2, the C3, the apartment lot, that's a planned, planned commercial. So that's through the site plan approval.
Okay. You have any questions? Is there anything else you wanted to present to the,
I think we covered it.
okay. A motion is in order?
Motion for passage of the preliminary plat approval for the Oregon Town Center Plat 1.
I'll second. Roll call?
Mr. Friesler,
Yes.
Mr. Orovitz.
Yes.
Mayor Safarian,
Yes.
Okay, the next issue is CUE-175-22, conditional use for a C2 general commercial zone district for the purpose of increasing personal storage on the properties described as parcel number 44-14493 and 44-14487. Applicant is Patrick Claphammer and location is 730 South Stadium and also 5745 Navarre Avenue. Could you go ahead?
Yeah, and I'm going to let the mayor present this, but I'm just going to give a couple of details.
Okay,
The self-storage or personal storage, as we refer to it in the zoning code, as it sits now, is a legal non-conforming status, which means that at the time those were built, there was no conditional use required. Since that was built, I believe it was in 2002, we created the conditional use that is required now. So that's why we have an existing legal non-conforming, but to increase it, we need the conditional
Sure.
use. And that I just want to remind you that the conditional use is not a recommendation to city council. The conditional use is approval only by the plan commission.
thank you. Mr. Mayor?
Okay, I want to start, even when it came before the Architectural Review Board, and knowing history of this location, we have what we believe is a less impact request than it currently has right now. It has the storage, it has the football field, it has outdoor display of goods. With the new conditional use, it would just allow the property to have these storage facilities. These are not ordinary storage facilities. These are climate-controlled storage facilities, air-conditioned and heated. They're very high dollar. It's a fenced-in whole unit. There's people on site. The whole place will be renovated. It will clean up the whole area. And speaking to, well, PJ's right here,
Mhm.
but, and I won't speak for him, but just knowing conversation we had, he was a little distressed with the way the place had to sit, but he didn't want to do anything to it because he knew he was selling it. So you don't want to go renovate a place only to have somebody tear it back apart. So we believe through the city and the architectural review board that this does address all of the concerns and provides business there that is of less impact than the current way this property is with the conditions it currently has. So we recommended approval through the architectural design
Okay.
group. And
Could you go
he
to
is-
the podium, please?
Patrick Caphammer, 3646 Navarre Avenue. I'm just here to answer any questions. So, I mean, I know there's people here that want to speak.
Right.
It's probably best if I sit down and let them address any concerns they have and then maybe preferably answer that.
Well, what I want to do is go over in a couple things in general, and then maybe that's kind of their concerns too. A lot of times we bring up same questions that people in the audience have. First of all, the existing two-story building. From the knowledge you have of the proposed buyer, is that staying in place?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then obviously he's going to do repairs to the structure. There's a fairly good-sized hole in the roof right now.
Absolutely.
Okay, and then that structure, that two-story structure, he's going to be using that for inside storage also?
Yeah, we're trying to add that to, we have the zoning for the retail and everything else, but he would prefer to add for the inside storage, the climate control, just like what he's proposing to put in there. They're a much bigger company in their field. They did a study of the area and the biggest draw would be, and these are really expensive and high end, but they're the climate controlled storage, you know, for people with expensive boats, expensive cars.
Mhm.
It's not like people are throwing boxes and, you know, you get the $80 a month kind. I did go and research one of these buildings that they're proposing to build. And when I was in Cleveland last week, the building that I looked at, which was equivalent to about one of these buildings, it goes for $12,000 a month. So it's really high-end clientele.
Correct.
So I mean, he's not, best I can say it is, he's not going to invest. He's investing millions into that corner to make it nice.
Mhm.
I actually, in speaking to him, I was going to try to keep some of the back for storage, and he said, and even told me he doesn't mind if we use it, but if it doesn't come to the standards, we have to get everything out. So he has a much higher standard of what he expects from that corner.
If I remember correctly, when we were discussing this property in the past, I think, and here again, this is why I'm asking you, was there a minor issue with the fence abutting Navarre Avenue and being in the right of way of the state?
No, there wasn't that. But we had been using part of the corner. We believed that was ours, and the front where we were parking, which we found out through this process that was actually the easement.
Okay,
So we eliminated that.
so
And
the sign, the existing sign, and I know we can't go verbatim for what we see on the overhead, but if I remember correctly, when we were talking before, the existing sign that is there now is actually,
it's sitting right on it. But if you see, actually, even in these pictures, when we used to run it, which is kind of cool, but you see how everything parked around it and parked on the field and parked, and in the back, everything parked. Under this new plan, all that leaves.
right,
And I had 4 offers on the property. I didn't actually go with the highest bid on the property. A lot of them wanted to maintain the outside storage. And I didn't want to do that. So, I mean, this
Mhm.
proposal was the cleanest, the most value dollar going into the corner. Aesthetically, for sure, way better than anybody else that was proposing. And I even when we got the zoning change for my brother, who ultimately I evicted because it didn't pay me, which led to this going this way. When he came in, once again, I said, we'll forgo all that. We don't need that. We don't want the sheds there. That was kind of a disagreement with me and him. But once again, I kind of lost out because I kind of understood. I'm from here. We've done a lot in the community. I want to do what's right.
So it's, so then, basing what you just said, then, this is inside storage only.
It eliminates all that junk that you've seen throughout the years.
And do we have that? Or can we add that to the SEU then we do, when we do the?
We don't need to add that because if it's not allowed, it's just not, it's not permitted with this new conditional use. So
Right.
it addresses it. So this conditional use supersedes. the
Right.
old.
I was just gonna say that. And
Yeah,
it's
I just want to
spec-
make sure
It's,
that,
and it's
yeah.
specific for indoor, personal storage.
well, this just, on here, the language just says increasing personal storage. It doesn't say indoor or outdoor.
Well, we could add that.
Well,
Yeah,
that-
that's what I'm asking.
can add
Is
that if you
is
want.
What's
we
that?
do add it.
Indoor.
Yeah.
You could add that.
I think, you
Won't
know,
hurt anything.
Yeah.
in what your conversations you had with the developer and with, it's okay, and with some of the people that abut the property or look at the property on a daily basis. I think if we add that there is no outdoor storage, then,
That's on the plans that we submitted.
okay,
So there would be no room for outdoor storage regardless, just based on the plans that we submitted to you guys.
That's correct. It doesn't mention anything about,
Yeah. And there
I guess
is-
I just wanted there
Well,
again.
we would have to specify and allow outdoor storage. So putting it in is
Okay.
is not.
That was just one of my concerns,
Yeah.
that the new owner would revert back to something like
And
that
I
on the
had-
back 40.
And I will
They
say
would have to
this,
come in and ask for additional.
Okay.
and I had
consideration.
4 proposals and 3 of them went outdoor storage, and this is why I went with this proposal.
Right,
so, Rick, we'll reflect that in the minutes of this meeting.
okay. Like I said, I just wanted to make sure for myself and the others in the area that we weren't going to revert back to something like that.
And I was very clean in when I accepted the offer, that was said that way.
Okay,
So, but like I said, I'll answer any questions, but I mean, I went with the best investment for the corner, and more importantly, I think it makes the corner look a lot better.
Oh, I
without
agree.
all that junk. If it wasn't for COVID and everything that happened and shut down, and then I had somebody in there for 18 months that didn't pay me and didn't take care of it, and it just, COVID would cost so much money for me to even try to dress it up and redo all that. And this was just like somebody that's really good at this game that does it well. And
the other facilities that this company has, do they have, I'm going to say attendants, do they have personnel on their on-site daily, or do they have, somehow even have a live-in kind of arrangement?
you guys don't allow that live-in anymore. That's the ticker, because when Dave had the property, actually that one little place there, he was trying to make a live-in quarter, and Oregon wouldn't allow him.
Well,
You just need.
you
additional
need a
zoning.
conditional use to,
But he stopped building it altogether because he went back and forth. with
we,
Oregon.
we added a living quarters down next to I-280 there.
Yes,
With a conditional use, yeah.
yeah.
But once again, that's not in the proposed plan. I mean,
Okay.
you will have full-time employees, too, man.
Sure.
Right now, I have a gate that doesn't even work. It costs $15,000 to get new code. It's not even locked. 3 months ago, people came in and sold all the catalytic converters off everything. It's just, he's putting all this in. So, I mean, he's multi-million dollars in doing it the right way
Sure.
and high-end storage, not shoeboxes and things like that. It's high-end storage. And when I toured the one in Cleveland, I was amazed. I mean, first of all, I'm amazed it brings 12 grand a month, but I was amazed at how, I mean, it's so much nicer and cleaner because it eliminates some of the bad things about
Right.
self-storage.
Well, obviously, he needs to get his return on his money.
Yes,
So-
yes.
Any other questions from the board?
Is he local?
He's from Columbus.
I only ask because I'm familiar. There's climate control. Gary Grupp has some facilities
Where's his at?
on McCord Road.
See, that's nothing.
Oh.
Oregon has that now, but it's a huge draw, especially for boaters and
His are
people-
small. They're small units.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to that one.
But that's like the new push in this industry is not going them little tiny ones as much as the climate. I mean, I guess they chase the money, but boaters spend the money, I guess.
Okay. Thank you very much. Is anybody here to speak on behalf of,
You gotta open the public hearing.
open the public meeting, please? Is there anybody here that wishes to speak on behalf of this proposal?
Steve Belgren, 715 South Stadium Road. You know, we've been looking at this for years, you know what I mean? I mean, yeah, you're saying all this is gonna happen, but is it in writing? I mean, is this for sure, or?
Mr. Chairman.
We don't
Mr. Mayor.
know.
Well, when somebody asks for a conditional use, it's very specific. And it goes by the plan that's submitted. So yes, it is in writing and it does they're required to do what the submitted paperwork says. So yes, it would be in writing.
So, if nobody buys it, you know, is that to say that PJ can't start throwing shit out front again?
But can I,
I'm just saying.
can
you
I,
know.
here's how it goes. So you're saying that, so if we vote yes here, we give them permission to do that, and they don't follow through with the detail, they wouldn't be able to use it for, they would, it's project specific. Meaning if that project doesn't go through, the zoning goes away
Gotcha.
and they can't, there wouldn't be any other, the only thing that could happen would be this specific project.
Answer my question.
Okay.
You know, I hope he does, you know what I mean? I mean, I'm sure PJ wants to get out, you know what I mean? Guarantee he does. So that's my concern is, you know, like I say, Mike, we've been looking at that for forever.
I understand.
man, dude.
We were looking, and like I said, EJ expressed to me several times, he felt bad that he fell into that situation and he was looking for a fix. This is what he believed was the fix.
Oh, I understand and want help, you know what I mean? I'm sure he's sick of all the stuff that comes with it, you know? That was my concern.
Okay.
You know, if it fell through and it was, you know, they don't want to do it, you know, oh, then, you know, PJ said, well, hell, I'll start putting boats out here.
The sad part, if it falls through, it probably sets a little longer.
Well,
like
yeah,
what
I
it is.
understand.
And this is the first step.
Right.
When we get this a lot of times, when a new buyer is looking at property, he says, well, I'm interested if. And then the owner comes before before council or the board and then tries to do what the proposed owner is requesting. And then it goes from there. But thank you very much for your questions. Anybody
Chairman?
else?
Just to follow up, Steve, and I think where we can see, if we see, and I'm sure PJ is hoping this happens, a closing on the sale of the property would probably preempt that this would happen,
Sure.
right? So that's what we'd be looking for to close.
I mean, it could be real specific. If this doesn't go through, there is no closing.
Yeah, right. They're tied together.
Part of the closing
Yeah.
deal.
It's a contingency.
Yeah. Is there anybody else that wishes to speak in favor of this? Is there anybody else, is there anybody in the audience that would speak in opposition to this proposal? Or just have questions in general? Okay, seeing none, I propose to close the public meeting.
You could just do that.
Okay, public meeting is closed. Any questions?
I just have one, just a nosy question. Do they have plans to do it all at the beginning or will it be phased? Have they talked about that at all based on?
What's gonna do the study on it? They're working with contractors, and I literally just told my realtor today, I said, tell me what they're looking for, because I know all the local contractors. I believe they're going full steam into it.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, it's a lot, especially the COVID and everything backed up. But I literally told them, hey, I'm pretty certain I can get you some generals on them jobs that we've worked with in the past that will get on it immediately. They're itching to move forward and do it.
Yeah, I think it's an exciting project. I mean, that parcel in general, because of the overpass, the access, it's a tough parcel to develop. And I think that looks like a really good project.
Mr.
Rick,
Gilmore?
I just want to mention that this will still go through the regular site plan, review
Right.
by the city and although for the fine details. Okay?
And like I said, getting back to, I know I'm repeating myself, but getting back to the location, when you do the site plan, look, if you could pay attention to the setback from, or the right of way from the state and where that existing sign was.
Sure. we look at all setbacks.
Okay.
Of course,
Because I kind of remember there
know,
was a
of
conversation that
course,
was.
Rodney's
it
shop,
was half
Rodney's
and
shop
half
will
or
look at
something
the
like that.
drainage.
Yeah. Right. And that's why I said if, you know, when this moves forward, I just want to make sure that all the development is on these parcels
Yeah,
and not
we'll-
in the right of way.
We'll do all the regular stuff
Okay.
to make sure the buffer yards that are required are put
Yeah.
in. And
Right. Well, a lot of times if a new developer comes in, he sees something, you might assume it's part of the parcel, and in this case here, maybe not. Right. Okay. Anything else from the board? The motion is in order?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like
Mr.
to make a
Weaver.
motion for CUE -175-22.
Second.
Mr. Freezeler,
Yes.
Mayor Safarian?
Yes.
Mr. Orovitz?
Yes. You're all set to go. Any other business for this evening?
We adjourn.
We adjourn. Thanks, Jim.